Good morning. Hi, Bruce Kittle here, Hidden Pearls Podcast with a Mindful Monday. Today we're looking at what I'm going to call Flip the Switch Part 2. A month or so ago, we did a two-part series on welcoming the visitor, and that looked at some of the things that happen internally, whether negative self-talk, spiked emotions, whatever that is. And so we did a little work around that, and that was part of our MVP mindfulness class as well. So we did a whole session on that. And then the part two was dealing with external things that kind of come up. So people, events, situations. And so in that, we visualized that item or object as kind of an entity and tried to have a conversation. We did a little bit of both of those. And we tried to expand the tool set that we were using in order to kind of fit into those things. And then last week or so, I did something called Flip the Switch. And that was really about visualizing, going over and flipping a switch. And that was relating to the stories that we tell ourselves about kind of reoccurring events or things that happened in our past or are ongoing even, and or people. You know, we have these narratives that we tell ourselves about these life situations. And we get stuck in these loops. And so flipping the switch was about just pulling the plug on all that and trying to see things fresh and anew and being curious, excuse me, and trying to work through those things. So Flip the Switch 2. All right, so for today is really about just taking that maybe a little step forward, but really thinking about kind of blending a couple of these concepts and just thinking about when you realize that you have maybe an elevated heart rate, your mind is really grinding, you're clutching the old teeth, your body's tense, whatever that is. And so we each have some of those triggering events in our lives. So when you get to that point, what are we going to do? So if you have your toolkit all set, then should be a breeze for you. But I just wanted to spend a couple minutes thinking about some of those things. So we're going to take a few breaths and kind of do a guided meditation around some of those things. So again, thank you for joining me, and we'll get started. So let's take 4 cleansing breaths. We're just going to inhale, hold for the count at the top, and then exhale it nice and deep again, really filling up the chest cavity and into your belly if you can. So here we go. One more of those. So just invite you to get comfortable if you're not already. If it's okay to do so and safe, you can close your eyes. Returning back to your normal breath. And as we enter into this space, just do a little check-in with yourself. Again, just tapping into the skill set of being aware of what's going on with you. So energetically, where are you at today? Emotionally, are there things going on? Cognitively, what's the mind up to? Kind of a mischievous little entity there, so be careful with that thing. And then just your spirit too, so that kind of energetic spirit, what are you bringing in? So if there's anything that you want to just kind of set to the side, hang on the hook as you enter this space, I invite you to do so. Don't have to fix it, don't have to do anything with it, don't have to feel bad about it. Everything is as it is, and it's okay. It's just working on being more aware about what's going on in our body. Didn't mention that one, but that's the other, and these other components. So we'll just do 3 box breaths, triangle breaths. So we're going to inhale on a 6 count, hold for 8, exhale for 8, just to step into this space a little bit more deeply. So inhaling in through the nose and exhaling. I like to do it through the nose, but you can go through the mouth too. So either one, whatever's comfortable for you. So here we go. We're inhaling 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhaling 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Just settling in. We're just going to take a couple minutes here, just in your own silence, just focusing on usually your breath, but it could be something else, a sound in the room, a body part, physical sensation, whatever that is for you. And just noticing what may come up, acknowledging, allowing it to be, and then letting it move on, or just setting it down, or just working on staying with whatever your focus is. And staying in your breath, staying in your body, feeling the way in which you are grounded to the earth, feeling some alignment and balance with your breath, your body, your mind, your spirit. So I invite you back to my voice. Just stay with your breath though as you're going. So this flipping the switch part 2. So just invite you gently, and you don't have to go all the way there, but we each have those moments when we can feel our heart racing, find ourselves clutching our teeth, our forehead is knotted, we feel tightness in the shoulders. So all kind of somatic responses, physical responses to stress, anxiety, fear, tension, whatever you want to call it. And so just you can think about one of those kind of periods or episodes. And again, you don't have to step all the way into that. We don't have to over trigger here. You can practice this without that. And then being in that, and at least visualizing being in that situation, and with some of those physical pieces going on, And maybe your mind racing. Your breath, instead of long and deep, becomes short and shallow. So, kind of working into that piece. What are we going to do in those moments? So, I've talked to you before about Professor McGee. She's got her stop. So the S is for literally stop. So that is kind of the awareness. And that is what we're working on with mindfulness. So in this moment, just what are the cues mentally, emotionally, physically that you can recognize and not get pulled into this any further? Just so that you have some awareness of what is going on, that maybe you've been triggered or you're tense or whatever. So and that is okay, because that's part of life. So the stop, just literally stopping, being aware. And I think for me then in that context, there's this sense of allowing whatever is to be. We don't have to immediately jump into fixing, changing, moving, shifting. Here's where I'm at. And then just a level of acceptance. Wow, did I get triggered by whatever that person said? Wow, is this scary? Boy, am I stressed out. So just this acknowledgement to the self about what's going on. So within that step, so awareness, allowance, acceptance, acknowledgement, all those A words in there. So, and then the T is for take a breath. And so literally that is always one of the skill sets that's available, or tools in your toolbox. So just taking a big breath as you're settling into this kind of sense of awareness, allowing the things to be, accepting. Maybe it's 2 or 3 breaths, which is okay. So as you inhale, it kind of tends to make us more alert, a little bit more spiked. And the long, deep exhales, for me at least, are really calming. And I like to exaggerate those, push those out. They kind of calm me and settle me down. But you need to practice and work with whatever works for you. And then the O is for observe. And that's still kind of part of this whole thing. It's just observing what's going on. And that's the internal and the external. So what's the stimulus? What's going on within me? And just checking. Again, that's kind of like the inventory we do at the beginning of this meditation. And then proceeding. And so in the proceeding, this is really where the skill sets are developed. And so what are some things that you can do in this moment after the breath? And as you're observing and you've kind of decided how you want to proceed, but taking care of yourself, I guess, is really what I'm encouraging here. So acknowledging to the self, wow, I'm stressed. Just saying it out loud to yourself, or internally, acknowledge it. Let your body, let your mind, let yourself know that you know. Okay, this is kind of stressful. This is tense. I'm a little scared. Whatever that is, it's okay. And maybe put a hand on your heart if that's helpful for you. Just some kind of gesture of compassion toward the self. Taking a couple more breaths. Obviously, movement for some people is really helpful. So if you can walk, if that's the situation, it allows you to move a little bit. And just kind of settling those things down. And acknowledging within, with grace and forgiveness and love, that everybody gets our triggers pushed, our buttons. And this is okay. So this is flipping the switch too. So if normally you're just staying in it, we're just thinking about what are ways, techniques, tools, practices that we can use to flip that switch. And that's what we want to implement here. And so you've got these things prepared. And so when we get a little bit pushed, breath, hand on the heart, acknowledging, allowing, accepting, and then just remind yourself it's going to be okay. I trust myself. We got this. I know I can make it through this okay. Whatever that is for you. A couple more breaths. Calm down. Feel your body relax. Let the shoulders go. Roll the neck. And there you are. All right, so just invite you to come back. So that's the proceeding. And then once you've kind of calmed yourself down, so you're taking care of that, the whole situation tends to isolate or kind of relax when you're seeing more clearly, feeling more full of your own breath, feeling your energy, have those kind of circuits kind of aligned again, back into balance. Then all good. So then proceed. Proceed in a way that is consistent with who you want to be in those moments. Proceed in a way that's consistent with your core values. Proceed in a way that represents who you are trying to be in this world. And then you know what? It's okay. It ain't perfect. Remember the 3 Ps. It's not personal. It's not perfect. It's not permanent. And we'll work through this together as well. So there's Flipping the Switch Part 2. I hope some of that's helpful. Just again, we're always kind of working on building our skill sets, having tools in the toolbox, being ready to roll. And again, you got to practice those on your mat so you can take them out in the real world and help us be who we want to be so you can make those choices. So hope you have a super great week. Much love, kindness, gratitude for all things in all ways, and appreciate you very much for joining in. Thank you. Leave any comments below. Any feedback is always welcome. Thanks. Take care.